Creativity is the ability to see things from a unique angle, to see multiple possibilities where most people only see one.
What is creativity? I don't know, I guess I kind of think of creativity as like just being able to come up with something like, I guess novel maybe, that's useful to people. Sometimes it's not useful to people, I guess it doesn't really matter that much, but just being able to come up with something new that other people might not be able to think of.
I think creativity is coming up with new and innovative ways to fix problems, create new solutions, whatever it may be.
Creativity is the ability to come to a problem and not just look at it the one obvious way, but be able to look at it from multiple different perspectives, and to be able to see things that maybe just someone looking straight at the problem wouldn't be able to see.
Creativity is, I think, finding like solutions to problems that are outside of the norm or the box, as a lot of people say.
I would say that creativity is deviation from the norm and a product of inspiration.
Because I would say creativity is whenever you either take someone else's ideas and build them up in a way that nobody's seen before, or just kind of go on your own thing and just stuff that pops straight out of your head.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think creativity is thinking outside of the box.
What is creativity? Creativity to me is doing something outside of the box. It's basically doing something that's not in the norm, not something that anybody can do, but something that's very unique and just, like I said before, outside of the box.
Creativity is the ability to apply flexibility in your manner of thinking to solve problems.
I like to consider myself a creative person.
I think sometimes I'm creative when oh gosh. I think yes, I consider myself creative. I like doing projects and making things up and thinking of new ideas.
No, I do not. Not at all.
In general, yeah, I think I'm creative. I've always been pretty artsy, and I've always, I don't know, had unique ideas about how things could be.
No.
Depends on the subject, but yes.
I do, but not necessarily in the conventional way of with art or painting or things like that, but more in the way that I express myself and in things that I do in my everyday life.
At times.
I would say it depends on the situation. I feel like in my schoolwork, because I'm an engineer, like I can be creative in those problems, but sometimes in my lifestyle and things like that, not as much creativity transfers over.
I'm a creative person for some things, not everything. I'm pretty good with my hands, building stuff, writing stupid, ridiculous letters to people, but I wouldn't say I'm super creative, like artsy or anything like that.
Oh man, I feel creative when someone else around me is creative and they can help me along, I guess.
Usually when I'm around friends and family and stuff like that, usually when I'm relaxed, I feel I just come up with more creative ideas and stuff rather than when I'm like stressed out for tests and stuff like that.
Probably when I've had the most sleep.
I would say I feel the most creative when I feel the least inhibited, as in there's no stress from school, and just very like carefree environment is the easiest, and just when more ideas come to me.
I feel most creative probably when I'm taking pictures, I guess, because I have a pretty decent DSLR, so I like to go out and take pictures of nature. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Usually I get really creative ideas right before I go to sleep, but then I think about them in the morning and I think they're kind of crazy and I never follow through with them.
I guess probably after some kind of significant event, or I guess later at night when I just have more time to think by myself.
Usually whenever I'm like building something or having to fix whatever, come up with a solution to a problem type of thing. More like problem solving, getting something done in a, I guess, non-conventional way.
I feel most creative while I'm spending time alone, when I'm having time to think deeply about things. Creativity, though, is funny because it's not like a faucet where you turn it on and off. It comes at the most unexpected times, pretty inconveniently.
Probably when I'm faced with significant challenges, or especially when I'm around kids. So either when I'm, faced with school things that I need to figure out how to solve, or goals that I would like to reach, but also especially when I'm working with little kids and they don't put a lot of boundaries on the kind of solutions that you can come up with, and so I just really love being creative with them.
I think they're born. I think people have to have a certain curiosity and also a certain, I guess, level of intelligence to really be truly creative. So I really think that's kind of like an inherent kind of attribute that people can teach you techniques and stuff like that to be more creative, but it doesn't really ever, I don't think that really becomes like a part of your character.
Since I'm not creative, I think they are born. And I think you can develop it a little bit, but I say no. I think you're born.
I would like to think you can develop some degree of creativity, but I kind of think that most people are born with it.
I think they're born. I think it has to do with the brain and how the brain works.
I would probably say developed. I think some are born with a desire to be more creative and kind of flesh that out more when they're younger, but I think it's definitely something that has to be practiced like every other skill.
I think both. Some people are certainly born with a more innate capacity to think about things in unique ways, but if that isn't honed and developed, then it doesn't really go anywhere. And I think people who don't think like that can learn to.
I think it's a little bit of both. Some people are definitely more inclined to being creative from birth. Like, I would say my sister is very creative, and she's always been her entire life. In other ways, it's picked up just with experience and working with something for so long. You come up with new and better ways to do something, and it spurs more thought. So.
I feel like it's a mixture of both. I feel like there's a natural gift of creativity that some people are born with, but in order to reach their full potential with creativity, they have to develop that gift. I feel like other people who maybe weren't born with it as much but practice being creative in different situations are able to also be creative. So kind of a mixture of both, but you do need to kind of be born with a certain level of creativity.
I would say it's a combination of both. I think that creativity is like, it's probably a lot like natural intelligence in the sense that, some people are born maybe with greater capability, but it also has to be cultivated. And so it might be that two people are equally, or express themselves in equally creative ways, but one was born with higher creativity than another, but the other just had it well cultivated.
I think creative people I think it's both. I think some people are just hands down more creative than other people, but it's something that you have to also learn how to do. Definitely with picture taking, there's a lot of stuff you can learn to be more creative, but I think you have to have a certain talent to excel at something like that.
I am an INFP.
I am an ISTP.
ISFJ.
I'm a ISTJ.
I'm an INTJ.
I'm the INFJ.
My Myers-Briggs personality type is an ISTP.
ESFP.
ENTJ.
I am an ESFJ.